I got a letter in from one of my readers, and she was sharing that I was right about saying how dudes need to get their shit together. So she's sharing a story of how she went to a mixer and met three different guys, and I'll read it to you. She says the only one that seemed confident and had swag was the youngest at 24 years old. He was dressed nicely, well groomed, and spoke with confidence. Too young for my taste, but he ran circles around the other two guys in their 30s, possibly 40s. The second guy was nice, but he was very nervous when he spoke and twitched. His clothes were ill fitting, and I could tell he was too much of a nerd. He also started sulking like a child when I started talking to another guy. It's like, dude, get over it. There's other women here. The third guy was nice looking but dressed way too casual for the event, which was at a bar slash restaurant at a 4-star hotel. Darker looking pants with a casual short sleeve polo like shirt. He admitted to me and this other lady that he's not good with people, which is why he's in IT tech. I ain't got time to bring someone out of their shell. I let the other lady have him. Still, I had a good time. There were a nice group of people, and it's been a while since I've socialized in this type of setting. By the way, you should know none of these men were black. The confident one was a white Jewish guy, the second was Filipino and Indian, and the last IT guy was Indian. The two that needed work, the learning how to dress for the right occasion and social skills were the two older guys. They could be really nice guys, but they really should have it already together at that age. And I have to agree with her. So, what we're going to talk about today is a technique that I use with some guys that I've been with. And in spite of the fact that I have my rants and raves and stuff, I do admit I have a horrible temper and I do go the fuck off. But when I'm in a relationship, I try really hard not to do that if I want the relationship to continue. If I don't give a fuck, then of course I just be myself. But, in general, you have a guy who you're trying to make something happen with. And, I want to show him the respect that he has shown me. So I keep my tongue somewhat under control. But what the technique that I would use is when he would do or say something that got on my goddamn motherfucking nerves, instead of saying you getting on my goddamn motherfucking nerves, I would say that's not sexy. Now, the benefit of that is men understand sex. Men understand what sexy is. They understand that if a woman is not feeling that you're doing something that's not sexy for her, that means she's turned off. That means you ain't getting no ass. And that means you did it to yourself. So see, those three words, remember how I made the video about how you talk to men and how you should really try to make your sentences 5 words or less? This is one of the techniques that I use. And since I don't know, I think I've done, I've done a lot of experimenting and found out a lot of things through trial and error. So rather than have you guys go through all of that stuff all over again, I'm making these videos. It's kind of like a live diary or something. I don't know, a journal where I'm sharing things that I've used in my life that have worked with men so that you can go from that point forward. You don't have to start at the beginning. You can start where I've set you up to and then go from there and reach far greater heights and be far more successful at a younger age than I was. But this technique really works, and when you use that term, you see guys like they stop, right? And their eyes shift from side to side and they'll be like, oh, what does that mean? Oh, you can just see their, like, the gears in their brain churning, right? And you stare at their face and you can see them. They always do the same thing. They all respond exactly the same. It's like they stop, like they freeze. And then their eyes start darting around and then they be like, wait, what you mean? What you talking about? Knowing full well what you talking about. So then you just repeat it. That's not sexy. Okay, so now they done heard it twice. And they understand that what you just did, without you saying, anything more than that, what you just did dried up all my pussy juice, all of it. What you just did turned me off to you to the point where I don't even want to look at you right now. I want you to get the fuck out of my face. But see, you didn't say all that. You just said, that's not sexy. So, what other things are not sexy? I made a list because it occurred to me that these dudes whining and crying on YouTube, making all these videos about how black women don't want them and I've been wrote off and all this other stuff they be talking about. These dudes don't get it. They're not sexy. At least at this point, though, I'm going to be kind because at the end of this video, towards the middle and the end, I'm going to tell them how to be sexier men for women. And ladies, if some of this might apply to you, I mean, just flip it. Because, there's a whole contingent of women sitting around talking about, well, I'm a good woman and I support my king and I do all this old shit and they talking all this old drivel, dragon drama. And, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. I mean, you my sisters and I'm not going to hate on you, but I do want to tell you that you full of shit and all that stuff you adopted and you think that that's what you need to do and be for a man, you're tripping. And whoever told you that, you need to go and find them and slap the black off of them. That's what you need to do. So in this video though, I want to talk about some of the things that are not sexy, and then I'm going to tell guys the stuff that is, so that those of you who are feel like you're suffering from true forced loneliness and you going your own way because women don't want you, everybody can do better. I mean, you might be a wonderful dude on the inside, but something about your packaging needs some corrective behavior. So I'm gonna tell you anyway. I'm gonna provide all those tools, and like I said, the same thing is gonna apply to women. If you find that you fit any of these things, just flip it. Instead of saying men, put yourself in there and then fix what's wrong with you. All right, so let's talk about some of the stuff that's too girly and that women do not find to be sexy in men. And it's crying, whining, bitching, moaning, men who are all up in their feelings, men who twerk. Okay, you see them on Facebook, what you call them, YouTube. No, that shit is so not sexy. I guess if you gay and you go twerk at a gay club, it might get you some action. But we're talking about, heterosexual relationships here. I mean, I don't have any experience with gay relationships, so it's not something I feel qualified to discuss. But so I talk about men and women because that's what I know. And straight dudes who twerk, no, 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 you doing too much. Dudes who manipulate women with lies and half truths and omissions of fact, that's not sexy. Them dudes who think it's cute to go licking their lips like they some kind of busted LL Cool J from the 90s. What? What are you doing? Stop doing that. Dudes that have too many muscles. Okay, I know we all like a dude who's cut and ripped and got some, defined musculature. Don't get me wrong. But if you got the muscles looking like it's a bowling ball stuffed up under your skin, you got that like that prison buff. That's not sexy. That makes people think about, homosexual rapes and stuff. No, 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 no. Dudes that are insecure. You lack confidence. That's not sexy. If you're physically weak, if I can arm wrestle you and I can win, okay, you know what? You can't be my man. That's not sexy. Mama boys, if we can't trust you, if you just grimy, if you abandon your woman to do it all by herself, if you don't have her back, if you hurt her or her children or you damage her property, none of that shit is sexy. If you don't have any talent, you have no skills, you have no ambition, that's not sexy. If you crazy as a motherfucker, that's not sexy. You need some mental help. You need to be in a home or something. I mean, you know what I mean? You don't need to be out hunting women with your crazy ass. You need to be institutionalized. That's where you need to be. Metrosexual men, that's not sexy. Well, gay, straight, bi, what are you? Who are you? Get out of my face. If you broke, that's not sexy. If you stupid, that's not sexy. If all you think about is pussy, you don't have no goals for yourself, nothing's going on in your life but sex, that's not sexy either. If you're not building, you're a young man, but you're not building for the future, you just like hoe hopping and just, tripping and just dipping around and just being stupid, that's not sexy either. You dealing with women these days, they got their shit together. They're looking for a man who's got his shit together. You don't have your shit together. You living with your mama up in her basement and stuff, making videos for YouTube. That's just not sexy, and you will never have a woman, not unless you pay for it. If you haven't read a book since high school, that's just definitely not sexy. You don't have an original thought. All you do is parrot shit that somebody else told you. What you heard, what you read on online somewhere, which people put false news stuff up, and that doesn't mean that it's real. You need to verify the shit that you read online. That's just not sexy. It makes people feel like, what is he really that dumb? Or if you have the only hobby that you have is watching television and bitching at women on social media, that also is a turnoff and definitely in the not sexy category. So, what guys have to understand, and you ladies too, is there's a big difference in how the genders choose a mate. Men primarily choose a woman when they look at her physical appearance. They choose a woman based on physical attractiveness. So basically, what they're doing is going by what their dick says to them, how their dick talks to them, and it's like, do I want to when I see this chick here, do I want to fuck her? The bottom line for them is either it's a yes or no. Okay, if it's yes, then he's gonna approach. He's gonna come with his best rap and want to talk to you and ask you out and all this old stuff. Okay. If the answer is no, then it really won't matter what kind of, what other qualities you have and what other things that you offer for a relationship. You'll never get a chance to show them to him because he's not going to pick you. I mean, he's going to pick a woman that his dick has some interest in. And that's just the bottom line. I mean, I can't really make it any more clear than that. So you women who want to ask dudes out and you want to propose marriage and you want to chase the dude and call him and do all this stuff, that never works. It never works. He might do it because it's flattering to his ego, for you to be asking him out and all this old stuff. He's doing that and he may see an easy opportunity for some pussy. But as far as him wanting to be with you long term and him, really devoting himself to you and all the stuff that you really want, that's not going to happen because to him, you're not sexy. And that's a hard, cold truth. And it's the same with the men. You don't get picked because the women don't think you're sexy. And that's just human nature. That's biological. It's cellular. It's in our DNA. So anyway, when women meet men, they're going on not only the men's physical attractiveness, but what is called their romantic market value. Dr. Larry Davis coined that phrase back in the 90s in his book Black and Single. And I like to use it because it's so appropriate. It's just actually so accurate for for how we pick a mate. So you're looking at his romantic market value, and as a woman, one of the things that you're looking at is, well, not just one thing. I mean, women have like a long list. We look at how the guy looks, of course. That's important, especially if you're going to have children. You don't want your children looking like a toad. But when a woman meets a man, she's going through a whole checklist of things that in addition to his physical attractiveness, to decide if she's somebody that she wants to get with. And guys don't get this. They don't understand that. They just look at what the woman looks like and they think that that's what we look at, and that's not true. So these are an example of some of the things that a woman might run through her mind when she meets you. All women are not going to be the same. All women are going to put these in a different order of priority. Some women are going to have different, issues that that are important to them. But so we're going to start like men. Do I want to have sex with him? Yes or no? Okay. Do I want to have sex with him today or next week or next month? Yes or no? Is he a kind, thoughtful person that would be a good lover? Yes or no? Does he only provide value to my life as a sex partner for, like a Mr. Right Now? Yes or no? Would he make a good husband, good boyfriend or husband? Yes or no? Is he well educated, well off financially, mentally stable? Yes or no? Would my friends like him? Yes or no? Would my family like him? Yes or no? Can I bring him with me to an important event and he not embarrass me? Yes or no? Does he look like other men would respect and look up to him? Yes or no? Is he comfortable around smart, attractive women like me? Yes or no? Can he cook? Yes or no? Well, see, that's mine. Most people probably not going to be on that one, but me, I like a man who can cook because the way to my heart is definitely through my stomach. So I just threw that one in there. But the bottom line is, based on her assessment of you within the first, I'd say 10 minutes of meeting you, she's going to be running those questions through her head. And ladies, feel free to add in the comment section anything that you might add to this list. So, based on her response, what she assesses to be who and what you are, she may sleep with you that same day and then, not see you ever again. Or she may go on a few dates with you to find out if her thoughts about you, her original thoughts about you are actually true, and then she'll sleep with you. Or she may, just put you in a friend zone. Or she may decide that you are Mr. Right and date you and sleep with you and then ultimately move in with you and marry you and have your babies. So there's a whole bunch of ways that this could go. But the bottom line is it all depends on how you present yourself and if she finds you to be sexy or not. That's the initial cut. If you're not viewed as sexy by a woman, and ladies, if you're not viewed as sexy by a man, then the relationship never gets off the ground. Nothing ever happens. And it's a wrap. Okay, so what are the benefits? As a man, as a woman, you want to know, okay, well, say I go through these, things and I listen to what you say and I change myself to be, a sexier person because I want to get chosen and I want people to see me, to spend enough time with me to see what else I have to offer. Okay, and that's a good plan. That's how it should be. The number one thing that I think men need to understand is a lot of guys will start, and this is not necessarily in the black culture because, this video is, I'm trying to like not only deal with black people, but, just as women in general. So I have to kind of look at different cultures and their different practices. And I have to say, from living in some areas here in the Bay Area that are like as far as much as 95% Caucasian, I've been exposed to a lot of differences in how white people do stuff versus how black people do stuff. And white fathers teach their sons how to treat women. And it's really sad though that we have so many boys growing up without fathers, so they're not really getting that kind of the kind of information. But I watched some neighbors of mine that had young sons because I lived in this one place for 10 years. So when this little boy, we moved there, this little boy was about 3. And, by the time we moved away, he was, 13, 14 years old, something like that. I mean, he was an early teenager. And I used to see his father, outside. His father was teaching him how to, wash the car and, do stuff, repair things. I mean, he was always with his dad. And then when it was like Mother's Day or the mother's birthday or Valentine's Day and stuff, they would come outside and he'd be lecturing his son, well, today is blah, blah, blah day. We're going to go and we're going to get mom a gift because mom does so much for us and mom really loves us. So we need to recognize that and we need to show her that we love her too. So, I mean, I actually heard him say this to his son. And so the little boy is like, okay, daddy, and they would go and they come back with the flowers and the gift and everything. And the little kid would be so excited to give the stuff to his mother. And, the husband would look very excited too. But that lady, they treated her really, really well. And it was the kind of thing where it was interesting to watch as he grew up, how he learned how to treat women, from examples from his dad. So I think a lot of guys don't understand that, and they think that women just want money and women don't want their time and attention, and that's not true. Women want to have parts of you, and they want to see that you recognize the value that they bring to your life and the good that they do for you and the benefits they bring to your world. And that's one thing you can do it. So I think, when a guy doesn't understand what sexiness is to women, he doesn't understand the value of it. Because, if you're a dude that women see as sexy, you get all kind of special privileges and advantages that men are low on the sexiness quotient, whatever that word is I'm trying to find, don't have. And I think this is one reason why the guys, the lame dudes, get so angry at women for choosing what they call the thugs. Because these thug dudes, even though they may not have education and they may not be employed in corporate America and all that kind of stuff, what they do have is sex appeal. And that is very important to women when they're choosing a man. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you dudes. Even if you don't sleep with the dude, you can still stand there and admire them and feel that attraction to them, even though in your head you're like, well, I already know this is nobody I really want to deal with. The bottom line is he still has a sex appeal and he's still very attractive to women that the lame dudes are not. Okay. So when a man is considered to be a sexy guy, he has when women are like instantly attracted to him. He'll come up to somebody and smile at him, and you see the women just like melt. They start like be like, "Oh hi," they messing with their hair and they grinning and stuff, and that's something that the lame dudes are jealous of. They don't have that kind of power with women, and they just hate it. These dudes have a lot more success with women just because of that initial attraction. When you are a sexy guy, you also have access to higher quality women. The sexier you are, the more women you have access to. That's just the bottom line. And if even if you were a reject dude in your youth, in high school, you couldn't get no play. In college, nobody wanted to talk to you, and this and that. If by taking these words that I'm saying and applying them to your life now, you can change that. You can turn that around so that the women who might really not want to really be bothered with you too much in the past will see you in a different light, and they'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, he's kind of cute. What happened? And they'll be like, kind of confused, like, well, why didn't I see this about him before? And they won't know. They want to understand that it's not that they didn't see it, it's just that you didn't present it. And I'll tell you, like I said later in the video, how you can do that. When a guy is sexy, he also has an opportunity to move in on women a lot quicker. Um, the sexy guys just have an air about them. I can't even really put it into words. But basically, they're friendly and um, they're just have like a natural charm, and women are drawn to it. And that charm enables these sexy guys to get women to drop their guard a lot faster. And when a woman drops her guard, then the next thing, of course, is she's up in your bed. That's why the lame dudes get so upset, and they're like, well, these women are whores, they're sluts, they just sleep with anybody. No, they just not sleeping with you, and that's why you mad. But I'm trying to help you, so I hope you listening. Also, the sexy guys, like say he's a sexy guy, right? And he approaches a table full of women, 3 or 4 chicks all come out tonight. This one night, the sexy dude walks up to the table and, hello ladies, blah 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 blah, and he wants, to dance with this one particular woman. Well, she's like, oh shit, I done hit the jackpot. So she jumps up and she's dancing with dudes. She's doing all her best moves. And so then she comes back, he brings her back to the table. And when he walks away, what's going to happen is her friends are going to be like, girl, did you give him your number? Girl, you better do something. Ooh, he's fine. He's this and that, blah, blah, blah. He's so nice. He's so sweet. He's so gentlemanly. He's this. Okay, they're going to promote you. So what you have then as the sexy guy is an opportunity that the lame dudes are not going to have. You're going to have all kind of peer support that the lame dudes would not get. So that also makes it easier for the sexy man to make a move and to get up in that because of his sex appeal. So there's no disadvantage to men to be sexy to women. There's only benefits. The problem is that a lot of guys don't want to put in the work, because if you just a lame ass dude, you're gonna have to make some changes in yourself in order to move into this category and to get these benefits that I'm talking about. So so you say you decided okay, well, what she's saying sounds pretty decent. Let me figure out what I need to do here to become this sexy dude. Well, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. These aren't in any particular order of importance. They're just in the order that I thought of them. Okay, let's start with A, attitude. I put that one at the top. I did put that one at the top because if you have a fucked up attitude, all the other stuff I'm about to tell you is not going to matter. It won't have any impact. It won't have any benefit for you because it just won't work. Okay, so the main number one thing that you need to know is if you have a bad attitude about women, that shit's not sexy at all. It's a fucking turn off. If you have a funky attitude, that's a negative attitude about women, and like you want to use women for sex, and that's all women are good for, or you're angry and you feel like hurting women, or like you relish seeing them hurt in any way, don't you think that that spills over into your energy? Don't you think that what you think and what you feel about women is exuded through your pores and that a woman can sense it? We are very sensitive creatures to emotional states. We see it in you. We know that you are a risk to our health and possibly even our life. So we're not going to fuck with you. So all you dudes who are angry at women, you need to get some therapy and deal with that. Because until you do, no woman is going to fuck with you. We run from guys like you because you're scary as hell. You're scary. You trying to hide it, but we can feel it. We feel the rage. And we know that you're going to hurt us or kill us if you get the chance. So the first thing you have to do is fix that, okay? You got to have a pleasant attitude where a woman feels like, you are that she's somebody that you would like as a person. Okay, just start there. You don't have to be in love, but you have to have the door open for her to at least like her. Okay, so then let's look at, the visual presentation. Let's talk about how you dress. This is important. Okay, if you are wearing them big ass baggy pants and stuff from the 90s and you still in that look, can you downsize your clothes so that they fucking fit? I'm not saying wear skinny jeans because see, I hate that shit too. Ball hugger, kind of pants. No, no. That's not sexy either. But if you're over 21, I'm gonna say, you shouldn't be seen in public wearing jerseys unless you're going to like, a football game or something, basketball game, some kind of professional sporting event. You shouldn't be wearing a jersey then. Likewise, these dudes wear these baseball caps with the matching sneakers. No, no. What are you? 15? Really? You 45 and you still looking like that? You need to check yourself. You know, you wear short sleeve dress shirts? Who does that? Except some corny ass fucker who doesn't know how to dress. Flip flops outside the house or outside the neighborhood? No. Animal print clothing? Big no no. Capri pants on men? And like I said, skinny jeans? Not sexy at all. So if you want to dress sexy, try going to like Macy's or Nordstrom's or, some like more higher end store or even a men's store. And tell them that, you need some help. You want to get a couple of outfits that you can wear on dates that are modern and hip, that fit your body and that are complementary colors. Get some help if you can't do it yourself. Or better yet, if you have a woman in your life who's got a great fashion sense, not your mother, definitely not your sister. Get a woman that, like a female friend or something, to take you shopping, and then she will tell you what looks good on you and what looks sexy, and then you buy what she tells you to buy. Okay? And then you'll have some chances with women. So, dressing all crazy, wearing these shorts and all these sandals and docker pants and all this old stuff. No, there's too much that you can do as a man to look really hot, and there's no reason for you to walk around looking like that. If you got clothes like that in your closet, throw that shit away. Give it to the Goodwill or something. All right, let's talk about nonverbal communication, because if you master nonverbal communication, then you will have a big up on most men. It's not sexy when you look scared or intimidated, or you stare at everybody but her, or your face just has this like one expression and you never change it, or you just look creepy and weird like you're staring at her too much. That's just gross. If you need some help trying to figure out what to do about your nonverbal communication, try looking at some movies. Look at movies. Ask women in your life which stars are considered sexy, and then you can use them as a model, for what you can do with your face. And don't be afraid to smile. I mean, you don't have to, be showing your teeth all the time. That's not necessarily sexy either, but you have to not be afraid to smile. And if you have fucked up teeth, don't want to smile, go see a dentist and get that fixed. Women are looking for seductive eye contact as well. You can do a lot with your eyes without saying a word. And it could, because you look at your eyes can communicate many different things. You can Um, look at her. You can wink. I mean, that's kind of an obvious one. But an appreciative stare, um, the one eyebrow raised kind of thing. You just looking at her with a little, and accompany it with a little smile. I mean, there's all kind of things that you can do. Practice in a goddamn mirror if you need to. There's nothing wrong with that either. Another thing I noticed is that guys who are the lame dudes, their walk is kind of fucked up. I mean, they do them little short, choppy steps, and they show that little walk in like those movies where they show ancient China and stuff like that. People be walking with them little choppy steps. These dudes be walking like that, and they're walking all bent over. They got a hunch of their back or whatever. It's like stand up straight, put your shoulders back, put your eyes, your head, lift your head up, look like a man with some goddamn confidence. And if you look at okay, like look about how Denzel walks, right? That mother, he has swag like a motherfucker. He like strides into a room. It's like a commanding presence. He's not really that tall. I think he's only like 5'9" or 10 or something like that. He's not a big dude. But it's something about the way that he walks that's very masculine, it's very confident, it's commanding. I mean, he has like this commanding presence, and it just gives you the chills. And I think a lot of guys need to figure that out. I mean, look at some movies where they show Denzel walking and then imitate it if you have to, because basically what you're looking at, you want to have your legs apart. I mean that it gives you a different balance, and it gives you a different kind of walk. You want to move your shoulders and hips while you're walking. Some brothers over exaggerate it, and it's called a roll when they walk. Okay, you don't need to go that far, but you do need to move your hips when you're walking, because you're supposed to be swinging your legs from your hips, not from the knees. So when you swing your whole leg, it automatically makes your pelvis and shoulders kind of rotate. That shit is sexy as hell. So you want to walk like a male model, with the head lifted, shoulders back, chest out, and look at people in the eye, which is something else I want to talk about. As you're walking, don't put your head down to the ground, because that makes you look like you don't have any self-esteem at all. Another thing that you want to think about is if you are a fast moving kind of guy, slow down, slow your roll, and adopt the speed that most women have, which is cautious. I mean, you're not going to be cautious, but women are. So when we first meet you, we do things slowly because we're in a cautionary assessment mode, and you need to match that with your conversation and the way that you approach her. So when sexy dudes take their time, right? Like think about Billy D. Williams in Lady Sings the Blues. That scene where she first meets him, and how his words are measured and slow. See, that shit is sexy as fuck. And the dudes who are sexy, I mean, their pace is slow, their body movements are slow. They try not to, quote, frighten away a woman, and they definitely don't appear desperate or thirsty, which is what the lame dudes do. They come on too strong, too fast. And if you just take your time, you talk slow, you like, yeah, sure, girl, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, she is going to be able to relax around you. That's what you want. Now we move on to your voice. Okay. Now listen to all these videos on YouTube. A lot of these dudes have horrible voices. They're too nasally, or they're too high, or they're too breathy. I don't know if they're angry and that's why they're breathy. I mean, I don't know the dude, so I can't really say. I'm just saying how it comes across. And men need to remember that women are very auditory. So if you have a high nasally voice, you're going to come across as a cartoon character. She's not going to hear what you got to say. And I think it's important for men to understand that's not how auditory women are, because I could tell you, I've been in places like, crowded places, restaurants, or BART, waiting on the platform or something, and I could hear a man's voice, and it would be like it would like resonate in my head, right, to the point where I would turn around and try to see the man where did that voice come from? I want to see this guy. That's how important your voice can be to a woman. And if you have the kind of voice that she likes, and she'll want to hear you could call her and just say babble, and she be blah 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 whatever, and she's gonna be hanging on your every word because she loves your voice, the tenor of your voice, the bass, whatever, the volume that you speak at, all of that speaks to her, and it warms her heart. That's what you want. Even if you just say her name, it's a turn on for her because you're saying it. Your voice is great. And then if you imagine she's already tuned into your voice, she likes your voice, and then you whispering all kind of shit to her while you two are having sex, oh my God. She'll be thinking about that shit for the whole week. So the man's voice is very, very important. Um, if you have a really high voice, work on dropping that an octave or two to be more attractive to women. Now we move on to facial hair. Now there's a lot of women they like a clean shaven face. Having grown up in San Francisco, I know that the gay guys like to clean shaven. I mean, they even shave off their body hair. So to me, I don't. I mean, I want you to have some facial hair. It just looks more manly to me. That's just me. I mean, a lot of women agree, but some don't. But I hate that clean shaven baby face look on a dude. I just don't like it. I think they look good with like the thing around the lip and the chin. At least that, the 5 o'clock shadow. This new fad where dudes have these beards like the ancient Egyptians jetting out from their face. I'm not into that at all. That looks stupid to me. But a little 5 o'clock shadow looks very, very masculine. It kind of does something to the men's facial structure, his cheekbones. I think that is hot as hell. That looks really, really masculine. Looks very nice. And kind of edgy. It just has this sexy vibe. So that's another thing to consider. Also, a guy who is humble. Keep meeting dudes who they want to like have like certain emblems on their car keys, or they only wear designer labels, and they talk about that, or they talk about they name dropping on stuff. And that stuff's not sexy. That's a turn off. But basically, we want a guy who, I mean, present yourself as being on your grind and all that. I'm not saying that, but you don't have to be, wearing bling and flashing labels and name dropping and doing all that. I mean, just be yourself and she'll find out soon enough what you all about and what you got and what you're capable of doing. You don't need to come out lead with that. Lead with who you are as a man. Let her see you, and then you can talk about what you've accomplished and what you got, your material whatevers and all that stuff. Do that later. Women also find sexy a guy who is a fun and interesting conversationalist. If you can, you're dealing with a woman who's intelligent. She's looking for you to come with more than, oh, what you doing, what you like, what's your favorite color, what's your sign, do you like to dance, what kind of music you like, what kind of movies you like. Okay, that shit is boring. That's like some shit for some, woman with an IQ of about 90. You got women who are highly intelligent, highly successful business people. They're looking for you to come with something that's going to be intellectually intriguing. So, the sexiest men are the ones who stir you up for your imagination. They make you laugh. They're witty. They're smart. They'll tell you stuff that you didn't know, so you actually get to learn something. And they really focus on getting to know who you are as a person. So they make you feel important, and that is key. So few guys do. They always think about themselves. They don't want to talk about themselves. And yeah, we got to exchange information. We got to know the basics about each other. Don't get me wrong. But if you are presenting yourself as someone who wants to get to know her better because you want to date her, then you have to focus on her. And ladies, same thing for you, if in reverse. Also, I think it's very important that men understand how key it is to be a man of your word. When you present yourself as someone who's going to do something, who's going to be somewhere, who's going to do whatever, you need to do that. You need to have some follow through. That's what establishes her trust and belief in you. So you can talk about you want a woman to submit to you and you want to lead and all this stuff. That's the foundation for that happening. But you lying to her, corner cutting, and game plan, and then you demand submission. That's not going to happen. She has to trust in who you are and what you say that you are, and that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. You have to be right. You have to do right. And so if you stand up and be that kind of dude, then she'll trust you. She'll follow you anywhere. And I think one thing that happens, dudes will be complaining, well, she just nags me. She just nags me after that. Women only do that because you told her you were going to do something, or she asked you for some help and you didn't come through. So what she's doing is she's reminding you or asking you over and over again. She's basically begging you to come through for her. You're taking it like it's a personal inconvenience for you via nagging, but in reality, she's asking for your help over and over, but you keep blowing her off. See, that's just not sexy. That's a turn off. But coming through like a G, That's sexy as hell. And the last thing on my list, one of the very important ones, is that you present yourself as a man of confidence. That shit is sexy as hell. And you are like lacking confidence, you have low self-esteem, you confused, you don't know what to do, you doubting yourself every time you turn around. See, that shit's not sexy. If you're a kind of guy who's intimidated by a woman who has her shit together, and you even tell her that you're intimidated by her, that's a turn off. That's not sexy either. Women need men that are emotionally stable, that are calm, that are loving, that are logical and reasonable. Even if there's an upset situation, some kind of drama going on, you have to be the rock. Okay, you can't fly off the handle and get all emotional with her. Okay, you see, that's the situation. It's like two women in the household. That never works. So you have to be the rock. You have to let her know that she can depend on you, and that you are going to protect her and the family. You got to stay calm and stay focused. That's what she's depending on you to do. And you'll find that, women just, if you flip out like she does and you get all emotional, or you start, going down the emotional track, and, get all ditzy and weird and all in your feelings, we women lose interest in dudes like that. Quick. The respect that she would have for you will just go up in smoke. And you need to stay, stable. You need to be something that she can depend on to be the same no matter what happens. She's gonna be the emotional one. You have to be the steady one. And if you can do that, and she sees you that way, you'll get major points in the sexy category. But you fly off the handle, be all emotional like these emotional dudes that I was talking about. See, no, that's a lame thing, and that's definitely something that women do not want. So, like I said, if you got a guy who's saying, doing something that's stupid, or he's acting a fool, or he's, talking to you crazy, just look at him and say, that's not sexy, and see how he responds. It should be interesting. I'll be waiting for your comments on this video, and looking forward to, your experiments with the guys in your life. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com, signing out.